Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our budget public hearing. Today is Thursday, June 18th, and I'm calling this meeting to order. If you're able, please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. This is a really important part of the process for us that the community gets to hear everything about the budget and ask the questions that you have to ask. And this is a staff presentation. Richard and I are just here basically to observe. So please pay attention to staff. Turn off your cell phones or put them on vibrate, please. And I am now going to turn it over for the budget presentation to Ms. McIntosh.
Through the chair, do you want to do roll call for who's here for the record?
Yeah, we could, sure, absolutely. Go ahead, Scarlett, you start.
Scarlett Cantley,
Miriam Heiser,
Elizabeth Accomando,
Richard Vassalotti,
Raquel McIntosh.
Steve Fowler.
Carrie, do we have anybody on Zoom? Good evening. We're going to go through the fiscal year 2027 budget. Is everybody able to see what's on the screen? I want to make sure that you can see it. Pardon? You can't see it? Okay.
Alex, if you want to move over to the other side, I don't see why we can't use those seats up front. If you could see better, if you're closer to the other screen. Oh, okay. All right. I thought I heard, I'm sorry. I thought I heard you say you could not see it.
Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Okay, so the total budget for fiscal year 2027, the preliminary budget is estimated at $25,548,601. Of that amount, approximately 6.8 million will come in from other sources to offset the assessments that will be billed to the residents. Of that 6.8 million, 2.1 million will be coming from grant revenues. In the Parks Department, we have a county grant for $1,064,000 that's left for the ACP South project. We have 40,000 for the 130th Equestrian Trail, and then we have 112,500 for the Downers FERDAP grant. Then in the M1 department, we have a grant for 490,426 for the MO West Canal, and we have a $400,000 grant for the M1 impoundment expansion. We also have in the budget this year $3 million loan proceeds for the lighting at ACP and for the basketball and tennis courts at Temple and Sycamore Park. In addition, we have use of fund balance of just under 1.3 million. And the majority of that is coming from the millings inventory for 750,000. We're also having a use of fund balance of 432,000 in the Parks Department, and that is just utilizing funds from fiscal year 2026 related to the ACP lighting and the Temple basketball and tennis courts. So those are being rolled forward since the projects aren't going to be done in 26. All right. So that's the major revenue items. I'm now going to go through the expenditures. So the total expenditures estimated for the administration department are 3.78 million. And that's a decrease of just under 165,000. I should say that in the budget this year, we don't have much capital equipment. We have capital equipment in one department this year, and that is the roads department. And so I'll go through that when I get to roads. In the parks department, the budget is estimated at 7,372,122. Of that amount, 4.064 million is related to the capital improvements for the lighting and the basketball and tennis courts, which was 300,000. We also have in the parks budget, if the board approves the loan financing, we will have to pay principal and interest on that loan, and that's estimated at 517,200 right now. So even though the parks budget is 7.3 million, 3 million of that is coming from loan proceeds and another 400,000 from fund balance. All right. In the roads department, the estimated budget for fiscal year 2027 is just under 6 million. It's at $5,954,95. And that's a decrease of 2.5 million approximately. And this is the department where we will have a capital outlay purchase this year. We will be buying out one of the graders that we currently have on lease, and the estimated buyout cost is 140,000.
Raquel, can I interrupt you for a second? I'm sorry, I know this isn't our meeting, but can you remind me, this is the buyout.
Yes.
If we were to lease it again, a new
A
machine.
new one.
Right, it wouldn't be this one, it would be a new one.
Mhm.
What would the annual cost be?
I'm not sure what the grader cost was annually. But the reason we chose to buy it out rather than lease it was because it was cheaper to buy it out than to release a
Okay,
new.
so I don't need to figure.
Yes.
Okay,
It was cheaper to,
I just couldn't remember, so I just want to refresh my memory.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
it was cheaper to, no problem. It was cheaper to buy it out than to, yes. All right, and in the M1 department, we're estimating a budget of $5,611,209. Of that amount, we do have some projects in M1. We're doing 2 pump rebuilds and some infrastructure work for pump station 2 and 3. We also have a $950,000 amount for the M0 West Canal reclamation and spoil mound. And this is going to actually be offset by the grant of for 490,000 for 26. All right, the M1S budget did not change from the prior year. That's the Bay Hill budget. The M2 budget had an increase of 115,000, so it's being proposed at $887,171. And of that amount, we have a mowing RFP out right now. And so we have put in estimates of what we think the mowing contract will be. Once we get back the proposals from the RFP, those will go to the board, and then the board can make a decision as to whether or not we will be utilizing a contract or if we will be staying with the mowing in-house. And so these numbers in M2 and M3 will change depending on what happens with that mowing contract. Not a lot of projects in M2. The director is going to do some infrastructure upgrades on pump station number 1 and to put on aquatic guard. The aquatics budget also did not change from the prior year. And now we're into M3 or Santa Rosa Groves. That budget did increase by $9,913. Again, part of this increase is mainly for an estimate for the mowing contract. If the mowing contract is approved by the board, then the staff salaries related to that mowing contract would decrease.
And that's the same in the M2.
Yes,
So
that's the
just-
same in the M2. Yes. All right. And lastly, for the aggregate production, this budget also increased by just under 100,000. So it's being proposed at $1,363,044. And the majority of that increase is related to repair and maintenance on the equipment and vehicles that are being leased currently. All right, and that's all I have for the budget. I'm going to go through the units, the per unit assessment. And this one is going to be a little hard to see, and I won't be able to make it much bigger. This is going to be hard to see. Okay, so let me make it as big as I can and then scroll across. That's better, right? Okay. So let me see. So let me go to the bottom. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see the units across, but all the units are listed numerically from left to right. So this first column is unit 1, this is unit 2, unit 3, so on and so forth. So the total net change per acre for each unit, most of the units had a decrease. Unit 1, you can see, has $139.89 decrease. Unit 2 has $121.29. We do have a few units that had increases, not significant increases, but there were some increases. Unit 6 had $8.75 increase. And I believe this is unit 14 with a $28.37 increase. But I'm just scrolling over so that you can see what the impact is. But overall, the majority of the units had a decrease in their per unit assessment for fiscal year 2027. I'm sorry, it's hard to see because you can't see the units. Yes, that's an annual number. Yes. And that's all I have. I'll take any questions, Madam Chair. Questions?
No, not direct question, but, and I probably should bring this up Monday, but I'm just gonna maybe get ahead of it a little bit. And this might be something for Rebecca to work on, but most people don't know what unit they're in. I got a lot of calls saying, what unit am I in?
Okay.
And the
Okay.
map online is, I gotta tell you, it is god awful.
Okay.
I couldn't even tell a lot of the areas. So I think that's something we really need to
Okay.
make an improvement on the map. So,
Okay.
and let people know what unit they're in, somehow. It doesn't say that on the tax roll, on the
No.
bill.
No,
So,
it doesn't.
I've got people calling me, well, am I getting an increase or a decrease? I said, well, what unit are you in? They're like, oh, I don't know. I live here. And I'm like, oh, it's a big area. I don't know exactly,
Okay.
off the top of my head. And I go look at the map and it's like, if People
Okay.
should be able to readily see that.
See what you.
Yeah, so that's, I'll bring it up again on Monday, but it was fresh in my mind because I had another call this afternoon. So, that's just something that we gotta try to work on.
Okay.
But, no, my questions were all answered. And of course, you're always available to me. Richard, do you have anything? Nothing right now? Okay, let's open it up to the public because this is who we're here for, not for us. Scarlett, you can go ahead and handle all that.
All right. Leo. You can just hand them to me at this point. Leo Dune? No. I just called you, Leo. Come on.
Leo Doom, 11546 42nd Road North, West Palm Beach, Florida.
Mr. Dune, I can't hear you. Can you get closer? We want everybody to hear you in the recording. There you go.
Have a volume button. Leo Doom, 11546 42nd Road North, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33411. It was kind of hard to follow what was being charged where on that budget. Is that available on Indian Trails website? Okay. Indian Trail is responsible for providing drainage and access to property within its jurisdiction. It's allowed to have and purchase property for parks. I noticed when you were doing your presentation, you had administration as number 1, parks as number 2, drainage is number 3, I think, and then roads is number 4. Your order of priority is really off. Parks' budget has gone way beyond what it should. You really need to figure out how to bring this all back into line. And I'm still waiting for a refund for the services that haven't been provided that are obligated to me.
Thank you, Mr. Dune. So the order isn't prioritized, right? So just because it's listed that way, the department, that is not the priority in which things are done. It's just the way, I'm sorry? This is just the way the accounting software
Yeah.
lays it out. I would agree.
Mhm.
I think we all agreed on that. Scarlett?
Sharon Wait.
Sharon Waite, 15058 75th Lane North, Loxahatchee 33470. Every year I think of this. I seldom say anything because I'm waiting for somebody to start slashing the budget instead of going after the taxpayer for things that don't need to be raised. We don't get a raise. We do not get a raise. And every year we have to cringe when we wait for our trim notice. The county doesn't even charge everybody as much as we get charged. And we don't, see anybody doing anything to help us out here. Not much. Anyway, that's what I want to know is, what can we do to start slashing some of these categories? It's only fair. People are struggling. And big projects should not be done now. We're not Wellington. And I think it's really not right to be looking at big projects with people with big ideas and then expect that we're going to pick up the slack for them. That's wrong. And I'm really surprised that more people aren't picking up on this and coming over here and demanding something get done. If I have anything to say about it, they will be.
Thank you. Raquel, what big projects do we have lined up other than the lighting and the court?
The lighting and the courts.
But that's it.
Yes,
right?
we don't have any other major projects.
Right.
We have smaller projects in drainage.
What about that big rock mining fiasco that's going on? I don't like
Not a
that.
project.
We are not in the rock mining business.
So we're not technically mining
Mining.
that. The
Well,
M2
that's semantics.
Well, the M2 has always been utilized for retrieving rock for many, many years, long before probably any of us have sitting, and then really nothing was done with it. We've actually saved, I believe Rob said $700,000 since November by instead of having to go out and purchase rock. So that program, as we're seeing the increases, and then who knows what's going to happen at the aggregate. They're not going to be producing, which means driving further to get it. Then we'll have fuel costs and all of that. So far we've saved $700,000 from
Can we
having to-
see something like that itemized on paper?
Absolutely. I don't see why not.
I think,
Absolutely.
public records requests are difficult to get and
Well,
they're
they
not
shouldn't
given
be.
in a timely manner.
What's the time, Miriam? 30 days or
No,
is there?
normally less, depends what the public record is.
That's crazy. I used to work here. I did better than that.
Well, go ahead, Miriam.
So as I said, it depends what the record is because you put in the records request. It depends what the records request is, what department needs to assist with the records request. So the person that our records retention coordinator will go to the department that record needs to be retrieved from. Like, let's say it's something from HR, so I will assist the retention coordinator to provide that record. If it's something from finance, I will help assist or the finance department will assist. So it depends how long. it
Sounds
takes.
like too many Indians to me, too many chiefs.
Well, they have to be able to get the information from each department. So the person, the records request person that is making sure it's fulfilled doesn't have the access in the system.
Well, I realize they need to go to one of the department heads
Right.
to get it. But
Right.
how fast, how hard can it be to go through the records, print it out?
Well, I know that I've seen some come through that are very quick. Others could be more time consuming. I know there was one for like every single email from one of the workers. So that one took a little bit longer. So really, it just depends. Some can be turned over in a couple of days. Others might just take a little longer. But I don't
Okay.
think anybody's just purposely, taking their time with it. But
Well, the perception
it's
is there.
right. No, I
The
get, I
perception.
understand. Yeah. So I think, we should strive absolutely to get the turnaround as quick as possible. Absolutely. Thank you, Sharon. And yeah, and another thing too, I'm sorry, Rich brought it up, which is a good point. By taking the material out of the M2 provides in case we need the storage for the water. So it has a double benefit, but I will ask for that breakdown. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Because that's why we started that program to be able to save money. And when we do the 640, that impoundment, we're going to save a lot of money in that respect. So that's going to be very, very beneficial to the residents at that point, tax dollar wise.
Through the chair, Alex Larson, she submitted 2 cards, one for. Yeah, well, this is the actual public comment for the presentation.
Everything. So speak away, my dear.
Well, I'm really curious about how we had that one contract that was 565 and went up to 772. It was in the town crier a couple of weeks ago. Mowing I think it's Acreage Community Park was the article. They had to change the contract. They went to another contractor anyway. Every day I look at, yeah, it was the landscaping. Thank you. And I look at the numbers and they're outrageous. Like that M2 impoundment thing, that's dust over there. That is not the rock that came out of the Palm Beach aggregates. It is not the same. We heard this is 20 years ago. Some of you weren't here, but we heard the fairy stories. And I mean fairy stories, pie in the sky, because it wasn't. The aggregates was sold as this special rock, magic rock. And then the M2s, oh, this is the same. It's not, it's dust. I don't think we're saving any money. It's a personal opinion. I've been studying rock and water way too long. Since 1983, I've been dealing with Palm Beach aggregates. So I've heard every story in the book. You know, we got magic rock out here. I know when they brought the rock, they took rock from my area years ago and put it over on 130th and then brought me sand. Now they brought me millings, which I did not want. You know, because I think we robbed Peter to pay Paul in this district for some reason. We've been doing this for a long time. I'm not blaming just you from the beginning of coming here. But the mowing of the grass, why does that go out to an RFP? We have men who will do it. And they only had to put signs on the truck, help wanted, mow, you want a mowing job? And they could have hired the 3 guys that they needed. I don't know why that was done. It's in-house. Always in-house. In-house, a lot of times will save you money when the rubber hits the road. The only thing you're doing is you might got to give the guys insurance, but it does not cost more, you know, for the guys to be here that every day than you have a contract. I'm not sure why it went out to RFP. I really don't.
So we're doing a comparison
Okay,
because we want to
hopefully-
see, because we're having trouble filling those positions.
Only because they didn't advertise them.
They,
If you don't,
they,
the guys, you're
yeah,
not gonna know.
we talked about that at the last meeting. They,
Here when the
yeah,
gentleman was up
yeah,
here,
yeah.
he told the guys, your job's not gonna be here. I've seen how these things work in this district. I don't think anybody's
We're-
job should be, you
We're,
know,
no, the intention is not to eliminate staff. It's just not to have to, does it make sense? And is it even possible to hire more people versus bringing in a landscape company?
I bet my life on it.
Those, I will see. That's why we need to find out. And those workers, that staff that's mowing, if a lot of them, like we talked about, want to move up, they want to move up to greater or another position where, you know, they can get an increase, you know, a better paying job. So nobody's going to lose. We're not going to fire the staff to hire a contractor. I assure you that is not going to happen.
I'm sorry, Elizabeth, I won't bring it out in public. I'm gonna be real good to you tonight. But the stuff I'm hearing is egregious, horrible. What I'm hearing about Indian Trail and money and rock and everything else. I was even told I wasn't supposed to know something. Everything here is public record, everything. If somebody sneezes, it's a public record. And I hope the district realizes that, because I know the gentlemen were told, you're not going to be mowing. And I believe them. I hate to tell you, but just remember that. I should never hear that's not for public consumption ever. And I have. It's scary how I find out things because my phone rings, Elizabeth. So like I said, I'll be good about it. But one day I'm going to come up here and I'll just enumerate everything I've heard. And then we can deal with it that way. You know what I'm saying? Because it is public record, all of it, every bit of it. And should be quickly. It should be done quickly. For the
Alex,
constituents.
if you hear somebody say that they were told they were going to lose their job, please call me. You have my number. Please, yeah, no, please do. Because that's, I don't like to hear that. I hope that is. Who said that? She's talking about Craig. Well, we have we have the HR director sitting right here. So that's who we're gonna take that word from. So yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know it's very important to, I think everybody in this room and then some, that we look after staff. I absolutely believe that. Yeah. I understand. And that's why I said, you know, if you hear that on the street that, you know, actually from a worker, please let me know because I will address that.
And and through the chair, if you look back, any recommendation to the board when we say freeze a position, because we never say eliminate it, we say freeze. When we freeze a position, it's always a vacant position. But just like I just want to clarify, we always recommend to freeze a vacant position. We will never recommend to freeze a position that is currently occupied. We will never freeze a position that has an employee occupying it. And I mean, it would have to be a dire need, and hopefully we will, knock on wood, never get into that position where we would have to recommend staff to be laid off. Hopefully the district will not get into that position. But yes, I really truly hope that I will not be an HR that has to be making those recommendations, because but I will always hopefully find a way that I can be in the position where I can recommend a vacant position to be. Yeah. So
Thank you. P.S. Gorin?
Hold on, I'm sorry, Scar. Alex, could you come back up to the microphone? Thank you. Yeah,
Not in trouble.
could you explain a 10-year mistake, please?
All I've heard was that there's an accounting issue that was been done for 10 years. It was done wrong and we got to fix it.
You've heard that.
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
No, I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus that isn't here or is here. I don't do that, but I'm telling you, it was talked about. It was a little bit, you know what I mean? Bits and pieces. The board talks about things. And then when we go back and ratify something that was done already, it bothers me when I see something that was done a couple months ago. Now we're going to ratify it and make it all better. It's very, very hard for the lay people to follow this, but I was told that the 10-year mistake wasn't going to be discussed in public. It was said the last meeting. Go back and watch the meeting. I don't know who exactly said what, because I can't see you or hear you because you're down low. Everybody's low when you're sitting in the little seats. So I won't necessarily know who said it. You know, you're a guy, but it was a lady who said it. So I don't know who said it, but I apologize for that. But I guess I'll have to stand up or go past the rope to see who says what. Because like I said, I'm sitting back here. You guys are low, but I'll hear the statement. I don't know who necessarily made it. It's not like I've memorized your voices yet. I'll try. But we've got a couple of issues, but I was told one issue was not for public consumption. That's what was said to me. So that's all I can tell you.
Thank you.
I'm doing the best I can. Like I said, I won't throw you under the bus. I don't try to do that, but I think we're spending way too much money at Indian Trail. I think the salaries are outrageous on some people if they're true, but we have to do public records requests to find that out also. So thank you.
P.S. Gorin.
But it scares me when I see my budget going down and prices are going exponentially up. So I wonder where those savings are actually coming from. And I'd like to know more about that when you have an opportunity. I know you went through some key things, but maybe we could key in on that a little bit. Excuse me, because I just did some back of the envelope things here. Little concerned, and I didn't look at the actual dollar number or whether there was an increase or a decrease, but I think you need a pretty big legal war chest. I think you got some things going on already. I think you don't know what's coming down the road. Better to have some savings than get hit with something you aren't expecting. I would shore that up if you haven't already. I'm not interested in seeing ITID tax money go to events. I think events are nice. If people want to volunteer, that's great. But I don't think it's right for taxpayer money to go to that, including using staff for that. I'm curious. I know that we talked about Orange Grove Boulevard east of Royal Palm Beach Boulevard between Royal Palm Beach Boulevard and State Road 7, getting some improvements, some of which were county, going to be done by the county, but I believe some was ITID. So I was curious, where is that in the budget? How much is that going to cost us? And is that all going to go to that district? Because it seems to me that a lot of people in the district and outside the district use it. And then what are the ramifications if we were to spread that? Because maybe that sounds good, but be careful what you ask for. So maybe that's not good. I'm not sure. Throwing it out there. How can we lower the cost of the equipment and the park maintenance? We seem to be paying an awful lot for that. Maybe we don't need such high grade stuff. I don't know. I'm not a sports person, so I really can't give you much advice, but I think we're paying an inordinate amount on that. I'm also not in favor and was very surprised when we heard that the PR media person was getting a salary of $145,000 a year. I don't think we need that level of person. I don't think we're a big corporation expecting a, PR thing that we have to respond to. And I just don't think that's necessary. Lovely person, but I don't think we need that position at that level. The permits and the upkeep of the field, are we charging enough for people who are really not 100% nonprofit?
Ignore that.
Are we not charging enough, for people who are coming to use our fields? I am interested in financial controls and board oversight. I feel like the board can delegate the work, but they can't delegate the responsibility. And having a system doesn't really give you plausible deniability if something should happen. Systems are created to make your job easier. They should provide you reports that show you very easily, here's what we budgeted, here's what's going out this month or this pay period, we're within the budget, we're not within the budget. Staff should provide some information that tells you yay or nay, what the explanation is. You have all the information there then to make a decision. You can build some tolerances into those reports that tell you, we paid 20% less last year this time. And last month we paid this much. If it's there, we should look at it more closely. I don't know what the tolerances should be for your particular situation, but I'm telling you that reports are made to make your job easy and should give you the information you need to let the board do the appropriate oversight. That's probably my biggest thing. Good luck.
Thank
Good luck
you.
to all of us.
Yes, thank you. So the savings, and how we got there, obviously, I would let Raquel speak to. We do have money for legal and, Orange Grove. So you're right. It is a very touchy situation with Orange Grove, right? Because everybody uses it. And this is a problem throughout the district. And we've been talking about this for quite some time. And years ago, when the district renewed the special act, nothing was increased. We're running into this now with financing for the park. We're limited to the amount we can finance because the special act never increased when they did the update. They didn't do that. Other districts back then, and I'm talking quite some time ago, I can't speak to exactly what year, but it was probably before most of us that were ever in this room. Other districts said, we can't tax fairly everything per acre. And they made some adjustments in their special act, which allowed them to have different methodologies of taxing besides the per acre tax, right? For situations just like we're now coming into, because we're seeing the encroachment. So unfortunately, probably 20 years ago, nobody thought we'd be in this position, but here we are now. So how do we fix that? Well, we update the special act and find a better way. So for example, you've got 1.5 acres of property and a lot of it has impermeable soil. Somebody else has 5 acres of property. That's the majority of it is permeable soil. So they're not feeding into the system. They're not utilizing the benefit. Yet they're paying per acre for 5 or 6 acres, where the other person is paying for the acre and a half, and they're getting more service from the acre and a half, but they're paying a fraction. So the methodology is antiquated. And I don't know if you heard, but we are going to start looking into finding a more uniform way of doing it, where one person is not bearing the burden of another. And unfortunately, Orange Grove fits into that problem. Right. And so we've got to fix it. And the board will be working on that in the coming months, along with the attorneys. And, Supervisor Argue said, if our attorneys are too busy, we can bring in a special counsel that specifically handles those type of adjustments. And we're going to get that done, because it just makes sense to do it, right? This is 2026. It's not 1980, so we've got to make those adjustments for sure. So So basically what I'm saying is, if you've got an acre and a half and you've got your house and you've got your pool and you've got maybe an outbuilding with a concrete pad, your grass is limited. A large lot, 5, 6, 20, 30 acres is all grass. So they're holding their water. The water is not impacting the drainage system. So so think about some of these new properties. Well, it's just an example, just like with the roads, it's the same issue. So think about some of these new properties with that, like say on 140th, that the house with the sports, right? Where is all that water going? All that water is going into the system. They're not holding their water. These lots out here back in the day were designed to hold their own water. And then eventually it goes to the swale, and some eventually go to a canal as it fills up. So what we're seeing, where it used to be a small house on a big lot, now we're seeing these bigger houses, and it's having more of an impact, just like we're seeing all the development around us that's impacting our roads. So we all drive on all the roads. So everybody's driving on Orange Grove, but only the people that live in that unit are paying for it. We have to find a better way. So unfortunately, we don't have that opportunity to weigh in on that at this level, right? The county is issuing these permits and they're saying it's okay. If you remember, a year or so ago on 94th, the county was having that gentleman that was building a house drained to the back of the property, but his swale was in the front. So there's that disconnect between the county and our way of having to do things. And that's a huge problem that we need to fix. So thank you. Scarlett? Oh, I'm sorry.
Through the chair.
Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted to give you a little for your question, ma'am, about the savings. So we had basically 5 major areas where we had savings. One was engineering fees. One was attorney fees, because thankfully we got out of a litigation that we were involved in. So we were able to reduce the attorney fees. We also significantly reduced our capital projects. And so we had significant savings in capital outlay. We also are leasing less equipment. So we had some savings in equipment leasing. And then we also are now, instead of buying millings, we are using the millings from the stockpile that we have. So we're using millings that we already purchased. So that's where the majority of the savings came in. Yes, for the equipment leasing, yes, we did the cost analysis for lease versus buy.
Bye. I think that's
Don't jinx us. I was just gonna say, don't jinx us.
Through the chair, just to clarify, we're not buying equipment and we're not leasing equipment this year. I just want to clarify that we're not buying any equipment either or leasing. Yes, we're not purchasing or buying. So
We're buying out the one and we have some leases in place already. We're just not leasing any new.
yeah, we're not
Yes.
additional.
Carol Jacobs.
You guys are done with your budget. Are you still giving out books like this with everything with the map and shows every little thing you do in the district?
Electronically,
budget.
electronically, it's normally on the website. I don't know.
Well, there's a lot of
We
us
do
old
that
people
last
that like the
year.
hard copy. Okay? Major old people.
We-
Anyway,
we can make some.
Yeah. because this shows every little detail. This is an old one from when I was on the board. Definitely need to cut the fat in this budget. It's ridiculous. We should not be piggybacking on bids. They should be bidded out because you're piggybacking on big cities, which they can pay their contractors that kind of money. This is an water control district. We are not a big city, and we need to stick to the water, the drainage, the parks. Well, and the admin's a little high here. And public records and rudeness to it's not part of the budget being rude, but the board works, they live here and they work for the residents, and they got to quit being mean because that's why people aren't showing up here. They don't want to be, they're just feel like they're spinning their wheels. And I get calls every day because I'm kind of got a full life with my grandkids and my husband's not well and all that. And I get calls every day. What is going on? I said, I don't know. I haven't been following it. So I filed a few meetings and I'm like shocked, looked at the budget, shocked. I've only been gone almost 8 years and it's gone up. It was like $500 an acre. And there's not much difference. We ain't not any bigger. We need in-house counsel to get our roads back that we gave away for $1 back in, I think, the 90s. Alex would know. Because they don't maintain them. And we got too much cut through traffic through here. So we need to concentrate on our roads mainly. The admin needs to cut the fat or move some of this stuff around. Maybe it's not all admin stuff, but there's a lot listed in admin that I don't think really goes in there. So it makes it look like you're top heavy here, which this is just the office. We did the same area when I was on the board with less people in the office. So we got to just, and the units. When it would be nice to have more employees because this is the main place for people that live out here to work. And a lot of people need jobs. And we used to employ a lot of people and each unit had a crew. So if something happened where the trees need to be cut down, canals need to be worked on, pothole in the road, those crews found it because they kind of competed with each other because it was like, oh, wow, my unit's going to be better than yours. So, we need to go back to that because there's a lot of people out there for the jobs. And this place is not a big city. It's an Indian controlled district. It's a district to take care of your water and your roads mainly. And the parks, we got them all fancy now. Let people use them. Don't be rude to people when they want to, get a permit to use the park. Thank you.
Carrie, do we have any public comment on Zoom? No. Okay. We received 2 in advance, written only. One of them is from DJ Perkins. Says, good afternoon. My question is regarding the basketball court and tennis grounds at Temple Park. Both play areas have been in need of drastic attention for quite some time now. When will they be addressed, repaired, and available for the community to use? Thank you.
Mr. Perkins, if you're listening or watching later, because I don't think anybody's on Zoom, we have been working on this and we're working on it with bond counsel, but this goes back to what I said earlier about we are limited to what we can finance for parks because of the special act. And we're gonna get Temple done. We may not be able to get Sycamore done until the special act gets corrected, but that one is not failed yet. We were just trying to get them both done at once, just to, have it all together, potentially saving some money in the financing, but it doesn't look like, that will be done, but Temple will get done. And I did ask if we could do Temple and hold off another year on the lights, but unfortunately the wiring is so bad and it's a safety concern. So we have to address that for sure, and that will be on the agenda on Monday. But come heck or high water, Temple Park's getting done. So yes, thank you, Mr. Perkins.
Okay, our next one is from Lisa Johnson. She says that she asked the comment to be read by staff during the public input for the board. Last year, ITID hired a media and public outreach officer at $145,000 per year. Besides some posts on Facebook, I'd like you to discuss what she has handled thus far and if her position is reviewed and recommended for the next fiscal year at this rate of pay. Stacy had commented about public input comment during the last regular board meeting. She specifically asked how we can be made aware of the answers to questions during public comment/input. These answers that are only given privately to the residents. I asked if this public outreach officer could post the questions and answers for all residents to read. It would be good where she is posting now on Facebook. This would ensure transparency and that the questions are answered and available to all.
I like that idea. Thank you, Lisa. Carol, you wanted to add something? Sure.
The media, yeah, I forgot to mention that. That's a lot of money and
Mhm.
it's a Facebook page. Come on. You got probably can grab 2 kids graduating from high school that these kids know everything. I mean, my grandkids have to help me with my phone. I don't know how to use it. So, you could probably hire them for a very small amount of money to come in to start out 2 of them to do your media. It's a Facebook page, for God's sake. And I don't know what else she does. And I noticed you don't do newsletters anymore. It's listed in the budget, but we used to send newsletters out. So the residents, there's a lot of new residents out here. They don't even know you exist, I'm sure. I remember a girl that my husband wanted to run with me when I ran my very last time, middle time I ran. And she was into horses, didn't even know we had a equestrian park over there, and big time into horses. So, in the millings, where are they getting the millings? Because if the millings, contractors will give millings away to anybody because they're contaminated. So I hope we're not putting contaminated millings on the roads, because those roads you'll do them, you'll spend a lot of money doing them, and they'll hit potholes real quick. So just make sure the millings are coming from, fresh millings, not a contractor just giving them to you, because they got to get rid of them because they're contaminated.
Yeah. Actually, Carol, we did start doing newsletters again. It's just a matter of getting the word out for people to sign up. And it's more than just Facebook. She's got a lot of media connections that will, it is going to take a little while, but more, and her job description is going to be a lot more detailed, believe me, than just Facebook. Social media, what we're trying to do is, spread some word and get people engaged. Once we have people engaged, we can give them the information. So yes, sign up for the newsletter. Where is the link to sign up for the newsletter? Because I know I see it on Facebook, but do we have that on the website?
Carrie, do we have the link on the website?
Because we should sign up for our newsletter. I mean, that's simple
Carol,
link
do you
to be
have
able
your,
to do.
email address with us? I can email. I'll have an email, and actually, what I can do too, maybe get in touch with you, and you guys can connect. Let me do that. Let me have you get in touch with Rebecca, because I think it would be good to get in touch with you.
The things I noticed in the budget when I left the board, the postage is still the same price. So there's a lot of things that are still the same price, but then there's a lot of things that are gigantic in price in just those 8 years. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
How do you sign up for the newsletter? Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Well,
Yeah.
it is on the, well, you have to sign up because you're not allowed to send them unless somebody agrees to it. You have to have permission to send somebody a newsletter. So this web, so remember we talked about we're looking into changing the website because it's terrible. It's not user friendly. So we're looking into a more user friendly site that may be an option, but to put a page, here's our newsletter for this month. So that could be an option, but yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, no, I understand, but not everybody goes to the website. So we want people to know that they can sign up for it, that it exists. Right. 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 No, I agree to have it available both ways. Some people prefer it coming to their email, and other people like yourself want it on the website. So if we can accommodate both, fantastic. And it's simple. It's a link, it's another page on the site. So absolutely. Right. The more information we can put out there in different vehicles, so to speak, that we can get it out to the public, the better, for sure. Yeah. Right, exactly. No, I agree. You don't TikTok, Alex, come on. Sure, click the website. Right, absolutely. Yeah. Did you notice, we'll talk about that later. Carrie, we're just making more work for you, so you're good. I know you're good. Yeah, he's not losing his job ever, so he's good. He's solid. But he's still working. Remember, he's still working on the ERP, so just bear with it because he's one guy. We could hire more guys and raise the budget. Do we want to do that? No. We could wait a little while, right? To get that in. But these are things, life is evolving. The area is changing. Things are not what they were a long time ago. Things were done maybe not so great a long time ago. We've been fixing and cleaning up a lot of things that had to be cleaned up. Changes, like I talked about with the special act, the way we tax, things like that. We've got to bring it to this century and fix the issues that, you can't fix an issue till you find it. And then when we find it, we fix it. So we've been playing a lot of that over the past several years, just trying to fix, catch up, bring technology in for transparency, more efficient accounting, more checks and balances. Very important. Now we're not dealing with just a spreadsheet. We're dealing with, hey, 3 people have to look at this before you could get it. Right. So there is no, oops, maybe I didn't need that, but I'm going to order it anyway. Those days are gone. And the reports that are coming to us are great. They really are. And they're showing us, could we add more? Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think once we are completely finished with this ERP system that's been started before I even was on the board, but it really wasn't started. It was started after, later than that. But I think once that's done, then we can start fine tuning and adding in all these other options and availabilities for people. And that's the direction that we're going. Will it happen overnight? Absolutely not. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there. And we're going to continue on until everything is done. All right. Any other questions? Any other comments? Now's your chance. Lay it on us. Yep, Orange Grove, it's a big problem. Leo, can you come back up to the microphone? I'm sorry to make you get up, but you know what's going to happen? Nobody online is going to be able to hear you, and we can hardly hear you.
Excuse me. Orange Grove improvement was supposed to be done when State Road 7 went in. There was some agreement as to be able to connect State Road 7 to Indian Trail. Orange Grove is substandard in its width in that it is only 10-foot aisle instead of 12. There was the improvement to slow down traffic with the silly circle there at the A Canal, which does limit some of the longer trucks from even trying to get through there. But I think if you're looking to try and put something in the budget to do the portion, and I'm not sure whether you're talking only going from 110th to 120th is Unit 1. When you say 130th, now you've included, I think it's Unit 13, it's that one, or something like that. That was something that should have been kind of included in the R3. Unit 1 was excluded from the R2 because Unit 1 paid for all of the roads that were done in Unit 1. And we happen to have given away most of the roads than any other unit has. In Royal Palm Beach, 60th Street, Westlake really wants persimmon.
Yeah. No, well, Orange Grove just needs to be redone the way it is. That's what it needs. Where are the stakes? I'm sorry, you said 130th to Royal Palm Beach. Okay. All right. I will find out. I'm sorry, Scarlett, you do?
I was just gonna say, it's not us doing any of the work. And Heidi has sent emails to engineering to see if there's a special permit or something like that going on, to try and figure out who's doing the work. But
Thank you.
right now, we don't know who's doing.
Okay,
the-
but we are looking into it already. All right, beautiful. And you will let Pia know?
Heidi's-
Between 130th and.
She's taking lead on it.
Boulevard. Because the county is only supposed to be doing from State Road 7 to 110. That's all that they have. Why are the, right, all right, well, it could be, yeah, well. Yeah, well, we'll find out. All right. Anything else?
That's why I was saying that in-house attorney, not saying get rid of marrying them, but still do their own thing. But you can get a good in-house attorney for 300,000. And they just, Royal Palm should have opened up their road. That State Road 7, we cut the ribbon on State Road 7, we opened it up, promised that it would get 60, then 60 on. Well, it's shut down again. So the people from Royal Palm are coming and using Orange Grove because that's the first one. Persimmon is more our group, but they should open up the road. And that's what an in-house attorney could work on, little stuff like that.
So State Road 7, they finally got through all the lawsuits with West Palm and they are starting it
Yeah, but they
next
said it won't
year.
be done till what, 2030?
2032.
Oh, I'll be
Because
dead.
they're doing segment. Well, they got to segment it. They're putting in like a ridiculously large grass area. They're putting in a walking trail. they have to make sure that they get a wall. They have to make sure that none of the water goes into the preserve, the runoff. So all of that design phase is all being done currently. It's basically done, really.
Royal Palm has a road to State Road 7. They got a little car there all the time. They
Yeah.
closed it off. They
We
decided.
need
they're not gonna-
Roebuck to
So
go.
someone needs
We
to
need.
discuss with Royal Palm. They need to open the road up to let their residents go out instead of coming into our neighborhood.
If I'm not mistaken, in the countywide master transportation plan, they have done that, which, by the way, if you guys don't know about it, June 30th out in Belglade, we have tried to no avail to get them to do one for us. They will not here in the acreage, even if it's the library or if we had to, get the elementary school again, they will not do it. So they said, you can have your own meeting, but we don't have the information. So it would be very difficult for us to have that meeting, but they are going to have another one in Belglade. I don't know if anybody here went to the one in Locks Groves months ago. I think it was September, maybe one of the very first meetings that they had throughout the county. So basically you're just taking a survey, which is no longer available online. So basically it's going to just be, here's the information. This is the information we gathered so far. Now, it doesn't mean the county's going to do any of that stuff, right? They just did this study. What do the people want? We talked about at the meeting last week, I believe it was, that Royal Palm put Persimmon on their wish list. Like all the cities got a wish list. Like that's not their road to put on there. So we're a little confused about that. But our roads are very valuable to a lot of people. So this is what we really need
And that's what
to.
I'm talking about, the cut through. That's what I'm
Believe
talking
me, I
about with
know.
the dollar.
And this is why we also talked about bringing in, because Greg is retiring. So we're looking at bringing in, a PE. This way they could do Greg's job and be like an in-house engineer.
Yes.
And
yes.
doing the simple stuff and,
Mhm.
handling all the permits and all of that. So we don't have to have, Stormwater J doing that. And that will save us money there. And we have somebody, on site
That's
all
a
the
good
time.
idea. Yes.
Yeah. So we're already doing that. So
Mhm.
we're on that track.
Yeah. Because
On
out
that.
here, I've been out here a long time. So out here, most of the accidents are coming from cut-through traffic.
Of course.
They don't know where the heck they're going.
Right.
Just driving
Right.
away and they're hauling butt
Yeah.
because they want to get out State
Mhm.
Road 7, whatever. So that will help. They're going to open that, but it's going to be years. But we need to get some control on our roads with this cut-through traffic. I don't know if we put a sticker on our
Mhm.
car or what we do.
Yeah.
It's getting ridiculous. Oh, yeah, the dollar. I think it was back in the 90s, you should know.
Yeah.
Where we gave,
Yeah.
I didn't, whoever's on the board then gave, Royal Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Was he? Oh, okay, that says it all. Let's see, what roads are they? Royal Palm Beach,
Orange, coconut.
coconut's really bad.
Yeah.
And they gave them away, but they were supposed to also take care of them, which they
Right.
haven't. So I think
Especially orange.
we should be able to get that back. And that's what an attorney can do. Because they just like spit on us out here. We're nothing,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't
that years
disagree.
ago and I thought, well, the redheaded stepchild. Well, yeah, that's exactly what we are. Yeah. Yeah. So I understand a big budget. I understand your budget being big, but we need people working out here. We need to just like go through the whole thing and think of what we can cut a little bit and then put
Well,
what we really need.
this is just our initial. We can cut between now and August.
Right.
So we're sharpening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just need to get the word out to new residents out there too. Yeah. But it's high because I got my old budget and I'm shocked. Some things have stayed exactly the same and some things are like 5 times larger. And I'm thinking this district doesn't have that much more to do. We got the parks, got the roads, same park. I don't understand.
Right.
why
But the
it's
park,
so
the parks
high.
are killing us.
It's so
Yep,
high.
I agree.
And
Parks are
like
killing-
when I was on the board, I asked to bring dump trucks in because we were contracting them out. It was a fortune. Now I notice there's AA trucking. What the heck? And then someone told me, now this is just word of mouth, you know how that goes. 100,000 to do one road, one little half road, what are they, a quarter road? And I'm thinking the dump trucks getting that kind of money for that. So yeah, AAA. And the sod, every time I turn around, they're laying sod. Well, what is this? Oh, okay.
So when we
Take up
redo,
sod, take it up, lay it in the
when
same
we
place.
redo the roads, we have to go to.
Yeah, but then they're
new-
ripping it up,
new
taking it down, ripping
design.
it up. One
The new
head patch
design.
was done.
Um,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
we're not, Raquel, I'm sorry. AAA is not getting $100,000 to bring in stuff for one road, right?
Not to my knowledge. no.
Okay, all right. But that wasn't to AAA for bringing in whatever. We did buy a dump truck last year. They're
Yeah, you
expensive.
should at least have
They're
four of them.
expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive, but
And
if
we
they're
did
kept
put
up,
in
they
an
would last a long
RFP
time.
and AAA was the only one that answered it. We were hoping, like for the sod especially, we were hoping to get like some smaller mom and pops, but either they didn't have the right insurance or they couldn't meet the criteria. And unfortunately, AAA was the only one that did. So
Through the chair, currently
Yeah.
we are actually out for RFP.
for another,
the,
right, we are doing it
Thank you.
again.
sod,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the,
yeah.
I think
RFP
it-
wasn't readable. We couldn't read the response for AAA was the only one that responded. But
The
it wa-
last
but
one.
we couldn't read
Right.
the response,
But
so
if
we had to
you
actually
put them
go
out, you
back
find
out.
people, you just got to get bids out. I mean, you
Mhm.
know,
Yeah, we currently are out for bid for sod. We are out to bid for mowing. We are working on bid for hauling.
but
We are,
owning your own trucks, if you take care of them, they will last you a long,
yeah,
long.
currently we have three dump trucks. Yes, we have three dump trucks. Unfortunately, they are more in repair.
223.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, the last truck we bought was about $225,000. The last dump truck we bought, was it last year or?
This fiscal year.
This
yes.
fiscal year, yeah, we did it in the last, when we did our last budget, so
Yeah.
this fiscal year.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Anybody else? Don't forget, we have another meeting on this in August. In the meantime, staff is gonna, well, yes, we have our regular board meeting on Monday, but I'm talking about budget. Oh, budget, right, right. But I'm saying in between this preliminary notice and when we actually do the final to the county in August, because it's just a preliminary, it can only go down from here. It cannot go up. So I know staff will work very hard to do everything they can to try to make it go down more because nobody wants to pay more taxes. And I appreciate staff and all the effort that you've done to make it make sense, to do it the way it should have been being done for many, many years. We got the same result, but I know it was a lot of work. And your efforts do not go unnoticed. Trimming down, it's nice, always nice to see. You know, we held steady last year, but to bring it down, even if it's just a small amount, it's going in the right direction. And the most important thing, like the residents have mentioned, is that we're putting our money in the right place. That's the most important thing. So thank you, everybody, staff, for all your hard work, everything you will continue to do with this budget for all of us. And pretty much most of us live out here. So we all feel the same pain and we all want the same thing and what's best for all the residents and our quality of life. And that's what we're going to do our best with what we have the availability to do here within our limits, because we are very limited, as we know. So we will always try to make our best effort to do that. So I'm really glad and thank you everybody for coming out tonight. I think this is, since I've been on the board, this is the most people that we've had at this. I am not kidding you. I think the first year, there was nobody. Nobody showed up. The year after that, because I always come. The year after that, there was one person. I can't remember who, forgive me. But so it's nice to see. At least we had a few faces and you know, the residents came out, so I appreciate it. And of course, you know, the video will be available and Carla's here and she'll talk about it, I'm sure. So
And it was noticed. The public hearing was noticed.
yes, of course.
You guys
thank
don't have to do anything.
And do I have to, where's my sheet here? Yes, okay.
You don't have to.
So we
repeat
have
it.
no action. All right, we did. All right, so we're good. So we do have, I'll just say it again, board meeting to approve the trim will be Monday, June 22nd. The final fiscal year 27 budget will be adopted at the August 19th meeting. That is our regular board meeting, and assessment rates, again, cannot increase after we adopt it on Monday. So it's not going to be any higher than what we just talked about tonight. And that's what we'll adopt on Monday unless we make it less by Monday. So we got the weekend. All right, this meeting is adjourned. Oh,
Thank you.
wait.
I think staff's doing a great job. I don't think, I wasn't up here with that. And I'm glad to see you do have some lowered
Yes.
through the thing. So
Yes,
that's good.
that we're getting there. Yeah. Yeah, because it was in the early 2022 when that budget was done and we had all the culvert failures and everything, just all the equipment, there was well in 2022, no, but we did have some wicked rain events. So that's why between 22 and 23, there was that huge jump. So we got to try to dial it back a little bit, right? Yeah. All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.